All right, my friend. Good morning, everyone. How you doing today?
Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did something together.
Yeah, it's
It
too
has
long.
been too long, too long, too long, too long. Oh yeah, I think it's time to definitely talk about the situation here that has to do with Charlie Kirk. And I'll tell you, this one has really, yeah, I felt the pain. Even this morning, I was laying on the bed and the tears were flowing. Man, they were flowing. They were flowing. Um,
For me, I think it was not just the pain, but the essence of pure, unadulterated rage
mm,
that I was trying so hard to keep back and not let it take over me
mm.
because
That soldier in you.
the soldier in me just wanted to go out there and start going on the hunt.
Mm. Mercy.
But I know that I just hinder their investigation, the FBI and everything,
Mm.
and wouldn't turn
Yeah.
out probably too good. But
Yeah.
it's kind of not just anger, but sheer loathing
Mm.
for the other side and everything that they stand for,
Mm.
because they don't represent and they don't put out what they claim they represent.
Correct. Correct. You know, yeah, there's a lot to get into. I'll be honest with you, I feel the same way that you do. I think we can be better people, irrespective of our politics. And what we're gonna see there is a difference among some of the reactions of the people. Some people take it too far.
Hmm.
Some people take it the other direction. Um, you
And
know,
and honestly, that's what Charlie was all about, was rising above the politics, rising above all of it to come together as human beings and discuss the hard topics that needed to be discussed to educate people, to show them that there is a better way.
absolutely, absolutely. 31 years old. I mean, that
So,
that that is extremely young. I'm 39, going on 40. That's you're at the prime of your life, man.
mhm.
It's too early, too soon. I could only imagine how much more Charlie Kirk had left to give to the world, man. That was just
I,
yeah.
I can remember 3 times in my life that I've broken down for somebody passing away that I wasn't directly
Mm,
connected to.
mm,
There was the day Dale Earnhardt died, the day Carrie Fisher died, who played Princess Leia in Star Wars,
mm.
and the day Charlie Kirk died.
Yeah, yeah. Very few deaths like this. I understand what you're saying, but I don't often feel it in the way that I felt this one.
Hmm.
I felt like there was a cloud of darkness around me. When I woke up, it's like I could not feel the brightness of the sun. It felt different,
Yeah,
and I knew it was more mental than anything. But it's just that,
it felt hollow.
yeah, it felt hollow. There was a void. It's like something was taken away.
Not just taken away, but like ripped away
Yeah.
in a split instant. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it I kind of compare it to the way I felt when I found out Dale Earnhardt passed away.
Mm,
Because granted, Dale Earnhardt wasn't in the prime of his youth, but like Charlie was. However,
mm,
when he passed, I don't know how much you know about NASCAR,
mm.
but he was in the Daytona 500. He was set to win, and he turned around and ran into a wall. He never won a Daytona 500 ever in his entire career.
Oh wow.
And on the last lap, he went to go around a curve and hit a wall. There's a huge debate amongst the NASCAR community whether or not he died before or after the accident, but he ended up dying of a heart attack, an acute heart attack.
Wow.
So yeah,
So
it's
what's his name?
Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I'm looking at it now. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Yeah. Wasn't familiar with that story.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do have a few things to share today as well. So hang with us here. Share this video, like and subscribe. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna do some
and
reaction here. Uh,
and that's when he ran into the wall. And
so he came out.
no, he didn't.
Oh, okay. So that they're trying to get him out. Okay.
Yeah, I think the one in the top, the black and white one there,
Uh huh.
was photoshopped. He never got out of the car.
Oh boy. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Goodness. Oh.
Yeah, he was there. Like I said, there was some debate, and again, that's like his old car, where it's the Wrangler car. So
Mm-hmm.
that was probably like early on in his career. Um,
Mm.
he had a blue and yellow Wrangler car. So, like, the thing was, he'd been in a number of accidents. He was
Mm-hmm.
considered kind of reckless for a NASCAR driver,
Yeah.
but he was also the best there was.
Mm.
Comparatively speaking, he won just as many championships as Richard Petty, who
Mm.
came before him. He was set that year to take Richard Petty's record of number of NASCAR championships and overtake him and become the best driver that ever was. Had he not wrecked on that final turn.
Mm. Breaks my heart.
It broke my heart too.
Just the thought of that. You know.
And I had to do a lot of praying when this happened with Charlie because I mean, I when I first found out, I was with friends. And it really didn't hit me until I got home.
Mm.
And I started seeing all the videos and stuff circulating online about what had happened and everything. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's when everything started swelling up.
Mm.
I'd say the big difference between Dale Earnhardt's death and Charlie's death is the fact that Dale Earnhardt died doing what he loved. And I know Charlie did too,
Mm-hmm.
but there wasn't anything anybody could do for Dale. Whereas Charlie was taken by some nut job.
Correct. Correct. So let's get into it. I would like to begin with a word of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
We have a number of things to discuss today. We're gonna go a little bit deeper than I did in my live stream yesterday on my other channel.
Indeed.
Deeper because there's a lot of information out there. So let's pray. Father, bless us now as we spend some time talking. We want this conversation to be fruitful. We are not here to add fuel to the fire. We're here to ask questions, see what we can learn, and also encourage the heart of the people. Lord, remember Charlie Kirk's wife and two children, young
Mm.
children. We pray for them. We pray for truth to conquer. We pray for justice to be served. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So the first thing I got on my list, I wanted to play this video by Benny Johnson, and I think that rightfully represent some of the discussions we're going to have as well. So let's begin with that.
And to live boldly, I believe that by striking down Charlie Kirk, you will have made him so powerful and his message so resonant to the young fathers and young people with whom he was affecting. And this is why Charlie Kirk was taken from us today. This is a political assassination, Laura. I believe that Charlie Kirk would have been president one day. I believe that in my heart of hearts. And that this was a political assassination. I've known Charlie for 10 years. I've worked with him hand in glove. I've shared the stage with him more times than I can remember and been a part of great builds and exciting events and moments. And I saw and witnessed him working behind the stage. There was a prophetic calling on his life. This was a political assassination because Charlie Kirk was doing the impossible. He was changing the hearts and minds of young people across this nation en masse, including your children. And I'm sure mine are quite young right now, but even they had met Charlie, and there was something truly, truly powerful about his presence. And I want to just take this opportunity to state that we cannot forget that that is why Charlie was cut down today.
Oh, because
he was so affected, because he was winning, because he had won the argument. And take a moment, Laura, to say, please, please, God, please, I beg of your audience, pray for beautiful Erica and their two sweet children. Real prayers on our knees for them today and tonight.
I want to hear your thoughts before we move to the next one. Why did this happen?
I think he was too powerful a voice for what needed to be said and what people needed to hear. And he was, like Benny said, changing hearts and minds of the youth and showing them the right path in life versus the wrong path. And when you're doing the right thing and doing what needs to be done and changing as many hearts and minds as he did, it's only a matter of time before somebody tries something like this, just like, MLK, just like JFK.
You're right. Yeah, it does feel political. There's a lot of other stuff out there that we're going to be talking about as well. But, we know we're in a bad place as a country, as a people, when you have an issue with other people's opinion, right? You can't take somebody's opinion to the point where you feel the need to end their lives. That's like an extreme position to have.
And that's the thing, I think, is the radical left couldn't fight him in the field of ideas or ideals. So they had to figure out another way to silence him. And this was pretty much the only other option they had left. And now, today, you have a bunch of them taking things he said out of context to justify what happened to him, which personally I think is absolutely revolting.
One of my response to that, and we're going to get into this one too. One of my response to that is, if your life and my life was consistently being recorded, I'm pretty sure you will find a lot of potholes, a lot of flaws, a lot of erroneous views in both of us. Things that you can look at and say, that wasn't very Christian.
Yeah.
But the question is this: do I deserve a bullet for that? It's just a simple question. And again, a lot of people who are saying this, they themselves have many errors in their own life. It's a self-righteous spirit that says, oh, he said a few things. That doesn't mean this should have happened. A lot of us have said things.
Yeah.
You can't justify that argument, even if
Not,
you didn't
not
agree.
even just said things. We've all said and done things.
Mhm.
You know that, as Jesus says, none are righteous, no, not one.
Absolutely. And Shannon got it right, right? Our lives are being recorded in heaven. God has
Exactly.
God has
Amen.
books. Yeah. Thank you, Shannon. That God has books. He keeps record. So
Hmm.
if you wanted to hold that against us, he could have used it. But I just think we gotta be better than that. We gotta be
Yeah,
better than that. I
we
think
got to rise above it.
we gotta rise above that mentality. So here is a reaction here coming from Joe Rogan, and I think Joe Rogan's reaction is different than the other ones we're gonna look at.
Hmm.
I would say this is what normal people do, right? There are some people that I would say that are not very normal. This
Hmm.
is what normal people should do.
So this just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
It's fucking awful.
And is he
Sorry about the language, guys. I didn't clean that video up.
dead?
No, I don't think so.
That's what was just
One of the guys out there just said it was
spoken
confirmed that
in
he's
the
dead.
in the lobby was just
I was looking. I've been looking. I haven't seen anything that said confirmed.
Whoa.
murder for having a different opinion from somebody else,
Yeah.
different ideology from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
beliefs that didn't
Who did
align.
it or-
Yeah,
I'm
He's
sorry.
dead?
Yep.
Rest in peace.
we're in
Fuck.
Fox News.
Jesus. 27 years old, maybe 30.
Do they even have a suspect?
I don't know. Well, that's why I don't. I'm literally trying to track
Wow.
it all on Twitter, and it's all.
Fuck. Nobody deserves it. He doesn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that.
So were you saying that MSNBC had a crazy take on it?
Mhm.
What was their take?
I mean, I'm literally just reading Twitter, so I didn't see the video. I just saw people talking about tweets of it. I'll pull it up though. Let me see.
Hold on a second.
Fuck.
Again,
So,
once again,
yeah,
sorry about that. All that.
That guy, when he's saying that MSNBC had a crazy take, yeah, that guy,
Mhm.
an hour later lost his job.
Yep. There it is, right there. We're gonna listen to his remark. Yeah, MSNBC. Yeah, Dowd fired from SNBC for Charlie Kirk's comment. Listen to
Yeah.
what he says. Listen
He's
to what
been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt,
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in. He's been one of the most divisive.
Yeah, he's
Like, how is it divisive to turn around and tell the truth?
Yeah.
How divisive can that be?
Yeah, what he says is hateful thoughts, hateful words, and hateful actions. But keep in mind, what you consider to be hateful may not exactly be hateful. It could be hateful because you disagree with it, right?
Mhm.
Like the Christian position on marriage, that for some people is hateful, right?
Or even abortion.
Yeah, that is, you know what I'm saying? So when you say hateful, you need to define and give some quotations.
Mhm.
You need to quote the man and show why this is hateful. And when you say something is hateful, what does that even mean? Are you talking about hateful in a sense that it endangers somebody's life, or is it hateful because somebody feels uncomfortable because what was said? You know, the way the wordings are played here, and I'm so glad he lost his job because
I
it's
think
early. It's too early,
I-
too soon to make this remark. This
Yeah.
was the same day the man died. Like,
Yeah.
you want to wait a few days later after the facts, and this is a moment for sympathy and understanding. Dial down the temperature. He could not
Mhm.
even wait. Like,
No,
this is not the time to do this.
he had to just pile on the rhetoric right away. And I think that's the thing is, you know, when somebody has a different set of ideals and you see how effective those ideals can be, especially when they're based in faith, that, you know, people hear the truth, they'll know the truth. And people want to gravitate towards the truth, even if they hear a lie. So what he is calling hateful is just absurd. Charlie never hated anyone he debated against. He debated against people who literally harassed him online constantly, and yet still treated them with dignity and respect. I don't know how much more you can get.
In on this, he just
There's a difference here in behavior that is very clear.
Apparent.
You can see the decent people from the crazy people, from the extremes, and you can also see the people with the common sense. All right, you can see the Christians too, and you can see you see all kind of people. It's pretty interesting in a crisis like this. Character is revealed. You know, you can tell a lot of people. We have some really terrible individuals living around us.
I mean, for crying out
God
loud,
has been gracious to us. If this is who we live with, we're like, Lord, thank you for your protection, because we really have some crazy mentality around us.
I don't know if you ever heard of Destiny before. Do you know who Destiny is?
Oh boy, do I need to play that guy? I know he curses a lot, but let me see if I can find this video.
Not only does he curse a lot, but the day Charlie Kirk passed away, he, I guess, went live or something and said that he can't stop now. His words, not mine. I'm quoting Destiny. We can't stop now. There's many more out there like him that need to go.
Are you serious? He said that?
Yeah.
Okay, Destiny. I can see
or something to that effect. Like, people are passing around lists online of, you know, this person, and this person should be next.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's madness. You know, but we're not gonna spend too much time listening to these individuals, because they're only gonna add more fuel to the fire.
These lunatics.
Yeah, it's lunatic. You can't die. You know, even I'll be honest with you, even among Christians, pastors, you won't believe what some of these men are saying.
I'm believe me.
Some of them are using the Bible and using Proverbs to justify the death of a man who had views that they did not agree with. I was like, yo, are you still a minister? You need to leave Christianity and go find some other religion where you can promote this, because you have the wrong Jesus if you believe that.
Yeah,
you really do. You know, there's an outlet out there. Let's get to this one. I couldn't find the Destiny video, but there is an outlet out there. This is madness, right? Outlet paid to put a curse on Charlie Kirk before death. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah. Let me read it. It says, okay, let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger for you guys, because it's gonna get crazy over here. So keep watching, like this video, and share it with your friends. Okay, paid outlet. We are told outlet paid to put a curse on Charlie Kirk before death. A U.S. journalist paid an SC Coven just days before the assassination of Charlie Kirk, writing the witching hour is upon us. Okay, we're not gonna listen to this one. We're gonna bypass that. A U.S. media outlet put a curse on MAGA conservative influencer Charlie Kirk days before his assassination. The article from Jezebel recounted how the unnamed reporter forked over cash for multiple curses on Charlie Kirk. There it is right there. You can see it. This is not fake news. Let's read what it says furthermore. Are you interested in punishing Kirk for the years of regressive rhetoric he shouted at America's youth? Anyone within earshot? The disturbing article reads, here at Jezebel, we're about to find out that there is a spell for that. Now, is it ethical to curse a man that I've never met? Good question. Probably not. But is it unethical to let him keep talking? Yes. So here we are in the gray area to ruin his day with the collective feminist power of the SC. Coven will be my life's greatest joy. But here is the double take, right? They say this, and then after the man passes away, they said that. The story was published on September 8th. Jezebel condemns the shooting of Charlie Kirk in the strongest possible term. Wait a minute. So, first of all,
why the flip flop?
we're going to talk about curses in a minute, but wait a minute. You published this story, and then this happened.
Right.
And then now all of a sudden, hey, we condemn this. Wait a minute. Isn't that
the ultimate what you wanted?
my life greatest joy? What happened to that?
You wanted to silence him.
Yeah, we do not endorse, encourage, or excuse political violence of any kind. It insisted a gunman fired a fatal shot in Charlie Kirk's neck during a stop on his American comeback tour at Utah Valley University. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. First of all, I'll share this opinion. I'm not saying I don't believe in curses.
Mm-hmm.
I do. That's true. That does happen. People can actually do that. And I was raised in Haiti. There is a strong voodoo presence in Haiti, where this is normal behavior.
Oh yeah.
So if anybody's familiar with Juju and Santa Maria and different cultures and stuff like that, yeah, they do know how to put curse on people, and it does work. And I can tell you stories of different things people do that they can make your arm bigger than the other. They can really do some dark stuff. But now here is the thing you need to keep in mind. We are talking, I believe Charlie Kirk was a Christian. I believe he was a saved Christian. Some people say, oh, that's not the case. Listen, the evidence is clear to me that this man was a God-fearing man.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
he have flaws and errors and character, Yeah, of course. So
we all do.
So do I. Welcome to the club.
Amen.
But here is what I believe when it comes to scripture, right? When the people of God are in a good relationship with him, curses do not work. The first reason is Numbers 23:23. Don't ever forget this one.
Mm-hmm.
This man named Balak he hired a man called Balaam to put a curse on the people of God. When he went about to curse the people of God, this is what he ended up saying, because it wasn't working. So he says, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob. The word enchantment here is curses.
Mm-hmm.
Neither is there any divination against Israel. According to the time, it shall be of Jacob of Israel, while God has wrath. He explains why. Because the people shall rise up as a great lion and lifted up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until they eat of the prey and drank the blood of the slain. To simplify it is they are in a good relationship with God. That's literally what this term means. Mm-hmm. We are unable to touch them. I'm going to quote a few verses here. We're not going to put them on the screen. Number 2, Isaiah 54 verse 17 says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every tongue that shall rise against you in a judgment shall thou condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the law, of the Lord, but the righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Another one, Psalms 9 verses 9 and 10. The Bible says, because you have made the Lord, who is your refuge. It's actually Psalm 91 verses 9 and 10 is the correct reference. Because you have made the Lord, which is your refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, even no evil shall befall you, neither shall any place come near your dwelling. Luke 10 verse 19 is the last one. Behold, I give unto you powers to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the powers of the enemies, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. So now,
and there's another one I can add to that.
Go ahead.
Is John 10:28. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them from my hand.
Amen. So the idea behind curses, I'll be honest, I don't believe it has nothing to do with that. I mean, it's a thought, but that has nothing to do with that. I'm not giving the devil any credit for this.
And not only that, but I'm sure they're not the first to have tried.
Of course. Thank you for that. So, but there are some other school of thoughts out there, and this is gonna get a little bit, it's gonna get really interesting now. I want to hear your thought on this one too. The Amazon, this book, The Shooting of Charlie Kirk by Anastasia J. Casey. Look at the date when it was published.
Yeah.
72 hours.
Wow.
How does a book about Charlie Kirk shooting hit Amazon before the assassination?
Yeah.
Look at it. They try to change the date after that, but this was the original date. People took a screenshot of that. And I think that goes to the comment that you were making in the chat. Was it Carla Thomas?
Yeah. Carla.
Yeah, Carla, you were 100% correct. I found this out this morning and I made a Facebook post about this. How did they figure? Wait a minute. Now, we're not trying to dabble in conspiracy theories here, conjecturing. We just simply saying, how do you get a book out there with this title hours before the man was assassinated? This is just a question. I'm going to go to an unlikely source here.
It's like, did somebody have some insider knowledge?
I came across this information.
Yeah. So let's listen. Maybe let's take about 4 minutes of this because she's talking about the book. She's reacting to, what's his name? Alex Jones. So share a thought on that.
I came across this information. I was going to try to put it into a video, but I wanted to get it out in real time as fast as possible because the more information we have out there, the faster we can solve what actually happened to Charlie Kirk. How was this planned out? Who is actually behind it? So I came across this on InfoWars with Alex Jones. We're going to listen to it, and then I'm going to take you through. People are posting more information that they're finding about what's happening behind the scenes. And this is actually shocking to know that a book was published about his shooting the day before he died. And then also the LA Times and the New York Times reporting that he was shot September 9th, the day before he was shot. None of this makes any sense. Let me take you through it real quick.
Now, Grok confirmed this. I went and looked it up and confirmed it. I saw this last night, and I wanted to wait and check. And a whole bunch of corporate publications, a full day before Charlie was shot, put out articles saying Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, but just the headline. And the people there were chanting, and we have the audio. You hear the crowd, the noise. And there's all the witnesses they were saying. It's kind of like, it's like the crazy man that stabbed the Ukrainian girl in the throat. You got to listen real carefully. But he says twice, I got that white girl, but he's in a train, so you have to really listen carefully. But you can hear it in there. I don't know if it'll translate over AM radio out there. Probably will on FM, but it's all over. Actually, you want to see it. And the cheering, yeah. Once it happens, yeah, they're looking, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I've got all the postings in the town by leftists and trans people that, hey, he's getting liquidated tomorrow. He's getting dissolved tomorrow. Something big's gonna happen. He's gonna go bye-bye. And then there's this, and I'll play that to show you the stuff in a moment. But look at this. Let's put this on screen from Amazon. Put the full screen up, please. The shooting of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, blow that up. Why does Amazon have the shooting of Charlie Kirk by Anastasia J. Casey posted one day before he was murdered? And then they updated it, and it's on the Internet Archive. That's been checked. It happened a day, September 9th. So it was already out there, and then they updated it today. Publication date, September 9th. The FBI needs to be knocking down some doors over there.
Those for seeing us all about Charlie Kirk. First of all, I am devastated. I am stressed. I hope he's okay. I was just Googling this, and something blew my mind. This just happened, September 10th. If you look on Google right now, 19 hours ago, posted by New York Times and Los Angeles Times, 19 hours ago, saying Charlie Kirk was shot. 19 hours ago would have been September 9th. Today's the 10th. This doesn't make sense. 19 hours ago. 19 hours ago. Today is the 10th. This doesn't make sense. How could the New York Times and Los Angeles Times report 19 hours ago that he had been shot when this just happened September 10th?
All right, let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, I got the comment. Yep, we're gonna talk about this in a minute. Thank you, Alina. I just saw a video about this one. So, talk to me, man. What's going on here?
Either somebody has a really good Ouija board or something ain't right. Somebody knew something. Somebody had insider knowledge.
Certainly feels that way. I do have another video. This one is interesting too. All right, take a listen.
Those of us who served in the military are a little bit aware of hand signals being thrown up. And these two men need to really be looked into with some of the sniper looking signals, especially coming from the guy in the white and the guy in the black.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great. Over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
You serve in the military, so you have an understanding that I don't. Is there any way you can confirm these hand signals as something that is true?
Yes, those are hand signals we frequently used. So, to me, it looks like they were trying to signal somebody towards the back of the crowd. And the problem was they didn't see it until it was too late.
Okay, say that one more time. Toward the back of the crowd?
So my guess, and keep in mind this is going off like standard operating procedure for how security details work, and knowing that these guys are former paramilitary, that the guy in white saw somebody first. The guy in black picked up on it, signaled to somebody towards the back of the crowd. So they'll have one detail around the main target, right? To try to insulate them from any oncoming threat. But they can only do so much because they're meant to be from close quarters threats, right?
Okay.
They'll have other people who basically skirt around the edge and outside of the crowd as well, to keep not only an eye on the crowd, but the surroundings. So if he was trying to signal someone that's on the outskirts of the crowd to tell them, hey, look, there's someone out there, and they just didn't have time to respond to what he was signaling to them.
So, okay. I got it.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah. What about the guy in the white? Would you say is different than the guy in the black? Would you say there's a relationship between the two?
I'd say they're probably working together. Yes. Like the guy in the white, probably an operator, where the guy in the black is probably the one in command giving the orders. Being like, hey, you need to go check it. You need to keep eyes up. We have something going on. And there was such a huge crowd, they didn't want to scare anyone or spook anyone.
Okay.
So what you do is you use hand signals like that when you're in a crowded area so as not to draw suspicion or alert the entire crowd that something's going to happen. Because then people are going to panic, and that's how things grow out of control and people get hurt.
Yeah. So those hand signals doesn't indicate in any way that these men were part of the plan. They could have also been the ones who were trying to alert the authorities to keep an eye out. Okay.
Yeah, because they were part of his protection detail.
I'm so glad. That's why I'm so glad you're here to make that clear, because there's a lot of stuff flowing in the internet and we can't run with everything. So thank you for that. And because there's no way this man behind him, at least the one in the black, it looks like a security guard of some sort.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I've seen Charlie talk about him and the other one that's usually to his left. They're both ex-special forces. So he would know these signals like the back of their hands. They'd know them like their morning routine. So it's no surprise that they'd be given a signal like that to another team who would be out past the crowd to get them on their toes and to try to get to what's going on. Now, with the other team on the outside, they may have been trying to figure out where, because he didn't give like a specific like aim direction to look at. So like normally you would, if it's, so basically what happens is with your primary, which in this case would be Charlie, facing forward would be 12 o'clock, right? And you basically look at it as like a clock face from there. So if the target is, say, at 9 o'clock, you would put, and to the person's left, he'd put up his right hand facing to the left, flash a 5 and then a 4, indicating 9 o'clock. That would be the next, if he knew where the shooter was coming from.
Correct. He could have given that direct. Okay. Wow. Whew. Thank you, Darth Vader. That's why we need men like you in society. Makes sense of the madness. All right.
Here's the other kicker about it, right? And we'll probably, you can tell me if you want to wait until later for me to talk about this or not. But the shooter, not a pro.
I don't think he has to be. From what I heard is, I was listening to a CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, and an expert in, military expert was talking about this. The gun that he had,
30-06 Mauser.
You don't need to be a pro to even use it.
As long as you're well enough versed in how the gun functions and you have it. Here's what most people don't understand. A rifle like that, if you sight it in at 50 yards, anybody who's done long distance shooting will understand. If you sight it at 50 yards, it's also going to be dead on at 200 yards.
Yes. Actually, I can find a video. That is a good point.
Now,
people that are saying you have to be an expert to do this, I'm like, not exactly. Like, if you just know the basic, you can probably do this with the right scope. Yes. You
now, keep in mind, he was about 200 yards away. Here's where I think it shows that he's slightly inexperienced shooter. Okay. Number one, 30-06. Yes, it moves it around 2,900 to 3,000 feet per second. Right? But that's not really fast. That's not that fast. But it's also a heavy round. So it's going to drop a lot in 200 yards. So basically, if you're lining up and you're trying to take a headshot, you got to go 2 mil over mils. If you were to look at a scope, they have little dashes or dots on the 4 parts or the 4 posts. 1 mil is 1 dot. You would have to go 2 dots, 2 mil over and put that second dot on where you want to hit. Okay, to be able to hit accurately.
That's actually, yeah, you're confirming a lot of what this man said in the video for me.
So
here.
I think what happened was the shooter was trying to get a headshot off, but didn't take into account the elevation, the windage, barometric pressure even plays into this. Anybody who's done any sort of long distance shooting knows that there's an exact formula that you use to do something like this. And a professional shooter would either go for the head or the heart.
And
Now,
they would not have missed.
No. And if he was straight on, yeah, he would have definitely hit where he wanted. But because of the fact that this guy is somewhat competent, but not complete pro, shows that he would probably be taking a headshot, but because of the fact that he didn't count in for all the variables, hit in the neck instead.
You're right. Because the goal was definitely headshot, because Charlie Kirk was wearing a body armor, and they know that. But also that will also fit the narrative, right? A lone man shooter kind of thing. You know the narrative. It's always this one lone man who came out of nowhere and decided to do this all by himself. Nobody else has nothing to do. You know how we are told. That goes. All assassination is always a lone man, and we caught him, and he's in prison, and that's the end of that story. Let's move on.
Well, and here's the other thing about that is, you know how initially reports came out that they had 2 suspects in custody? I think those were a diversionary tactic. I think they were paid off to divert officers' time and resources and focusing on them as potential shooters instead of the actual threat, allowing him to get away. So I think this was more of a concerted effort. That's my personal opinion. Yes. I cannot prove that. So, you know.
Somebody, Carla says lone with Wills. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so true, Carla. So
got that George Soros money.
Anyway, personal opinion now. All right. That's going to confirm exactly what you were saying. Listen.
140 to 200 yards. Talk about, with the bolt action rifle that they found, what kind of marksman is needed for this, and what kind of shot is that?
The rifle that I saw was a Mauser 30-06 bolt action rifle, which is imagine like your grandfather's deer rifle. It's a 7.62 round or a 308 round, and it had a very large high-powered scope on top of it. You put those 2 things together from a distance of about 140 yards, and looking through that glass, looking through that scope, the target would be the equivalent of looking across the deli counter to the person taking your order. They would be that up close and personal. Missing that shot would be, I mean, that is a day 1, week 1 infantry shot on a qualification range. And for someone who has any kind of familiarity or weapon training, that is one of the easiest shots in the world to make.
Yeah, so people on there saying like, "Wow, this is a professional hit job," and all of those things. I mean, your assessment on that is this was a lot simpler than that of a shot.
Correct. It is very. There's a big difference between a professional. No professional is taking that shot, not from that location. They're going to be much farther out, which is going to give themselves much more time and distance to escape, where they know that they are outside of the perimeter of security cameras and controls, and they would. It's just not. This is not the methodology or the framework of a professional. This is the methodology and the framework of someone who was wanting to do something, did the bare minimum research and planning, and the likelihood of success was very high. They quite literally took the shot. They were successful. They were able to get away. But now you can see that they did nothing to camouflage or evade surveillance cameras either before or after. And so they're very likely to be caught by the end of the day.
You were right, my man. You were right. Once again.
When you know, you know. You know?
Yeah, that's actually true. Boy, so now let's move on because we gotta talk about this Tom McDonald video here.
Easy, YouTube.
I mean, this man managed to put a song together. Is it the day off that situation, right?
Yeah,
that says a lot, right?
I mean, he did the same when Butler, PA happened.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you missed. Yeah, I remember that. Whew. All right, let's see what's going on here. We're gonna pause and touch some thoughts, everyone.
Just for what he's got up at the start of the video yesterday, in a violent act of cowardice, an assassin took Charlie Kirk's life. My heart and Tom's goes out to his wife, his 2 children, and to his millions of loyal supporters. All proceeds from this song will be donated. Rest in peace, Charlie.
So nice. So nice. All right, let's take a listen.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife and a daughter and a son. All he did was try to speak for all of us. And I'm so tired of the hatred and the narratives. The patriots ain't dangerous, woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed the father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud. And you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men tried to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us, but good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day.
Wow. That's a powerful lyrics.
That's just raw emotion right there.
Absolutely. Somebody said it in another video, and I was watching another video. It's like the shooting of Charlie Kirk it's like an attack on not only free speech but also just the public square, open dialogue and debate, discussion. But it's also an attack on our personal freedoms in a sense.
And on top, and add on to that, a personal attack against Christianity.
Absolutely, it certainly feels that way, man. I can't lie. But I like what he says. Is there were many soldiers that are going to result from this, because I made the comment in my podcast yesterday too. I was talking to a few friends, and one of the things that I said was, you can kill a man, right? But you can't kill an idea.
Exactly.
I'm saying, because the idea that he left behind is going to be strengthened. His legacy is going to live on. All this is going to do is going to inspire other men to do what he did. So if you see multiple Charlie Kirks running around and they're going to colleges now as a result, remember it was the ending of his life that spread his ideas. That's just the way even Christianity spread. in the early Roman Empire through persecution. The more they persecuted the Christian, the more they spread. So it's a similar pattern. You don't get rid of a bad man with a bad idea by getting rid of the man, because what tends to happen, it gets worse. And we should also learn from our past, because look at the nations they have dictators and everything. We say we're going to take down this dictator. But as soon as he goes down, somebody else fills in the vacuums, and many others like himself begin to follow suit. He becomes a martyr. He's embraced, and people want to be just like him. That's not how you get rid of him. You debate him, you deal with him, you confront him. But I think they couldn't do that.
If you can tear down a man's ideas, you tear down the man. So therefore, because of the fact that they couldn't tear down his ideas because his position was so strong and the evidence so overly whelming in his favor, the only other option they had was to permanently silence him. And by doing so, making him a martyr for his cause.
Absolutely.
Now, a friend of mine did a reaction to this, and he said something, and it resonated. Where you took out one, 10 million more will rise up in his place.
Exactly. There is a famous quotation from a man named a church historian called Tertullian, a church father. He says, the more of the Christians you killed, the more of them, I'm paraphrasing here, the more of them will arise. And then he added, the blood of the martyrs or seeds, right? So you really can't get rid of that because the idea is going to live on. He set an example now. He is public. We're having a whole live stream about him. So that is only going to motivate more people. So 1,000 more will come out as a result of this, so
at the very least.
Yeah. All right.
If not millions, because Charlie didn't just affect a few people. He affected an entire generation. He got the youth out there to vote and change their minds, change their ideals and their value systems. He was doing the Lord's work.
Wow. Yeah, this wasn't the solution. The way they handled this was totally wrong. All right, let's keep going.
America, lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day. Killed in cold blood for having a discussion, and liberals are celebrating murder like it's justice. You didn't kill a villain or the evil that it comes with. You killed a father and a husband. And I'm so tired of the left and all the wokery. We can't get along if you just kill us when we don't agree. Sniper rifle fire from a liberal that no one sees. Scared I might be next to die when I'm just buying groceries. Charlie, we'll make sure your children know that defending all our freedom is why you aren't coming home. I hope heaven has a window you can watch your children grow and hear your message echo from below. And we ain't backing off or giving up. I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties, and you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us. The system is failing us, but good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day.
Wow. That was amazing. That makes me feel better just listening to that.
Yeah. And I think that was his goal, was to try to bring people together for Charlie.
That's right.
And show his family how much he was really loved.
Amen. Yeah, thank God for men like Tom McDonald.
And this is the thing is, Tom has a powerful voice just like Charlie does, whether people want to admit it or not. And he didn't need a flashy video for it or anything special. It's just him sitting on a stool.
That's right.
Speaking his thoughts.
That's right.
Now, as to what they're saying in chat on I think they keep bringing up Jan 6 because they're saying, oh, well, this was the Jan 6 thing.
Mhm.
If you know, you know.
Mhm.
But the thing is, nobody died on Jan 6. They
Yeah.
didn't die until after the fact.
Yeah.
The only person who did, as Carla shows there, would be Ashley Babbitt. And
Correct.
she was deleted by security forces inside the Capitol.
Correct. Correct. Not the same thing at all. Apple and oranges.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I got this news this morning saying that Trump here is gonna speak about it. That they caught the shooter.
Suspicion was that he was radical left, and now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Okay, hold on. Before Trump says,
go ahead.
The reason for the suspicion that he might be radical left was because there was a bunch of stuff written on the rifle, and then on top of that, the spent cartridge was still in the rifle. Now, see, here's the thing about a bolt action. Unless you work the bolt, that cartridge stays in the rifle because the working of the bolt, lifting it up, pulling it back, is what ejects the old cartridge. Pushing it forward will put in a new one, fresh round, and then you lock it into place by putting the bolt down. That's what makes it so important.
This individual had no idea what they were doing, in a sense. I mean,
no, or the
years, but they weren't an expert.
Yes, exactly. So they knew enough to police what we call policing their brass. Okay, so he knew enough not to leave that behind. And I saw a video just before we came on of where it shows him running across the roof, jumping down off of the building, sprinting across the courtyard, and then walking across the road to get rid of the rifle. Now, here's the important part that brings me to my point of him being a radical left. There was pro-trans carvings on the casings of the ammunition used. There was also was pro-trans and there was what am I trying to think of? I can't think of the word. Brain not wanting to work. I hate having short-term memory loss. So, but it was basically everything Charlie stood against.
Correct. So
I'm
going to share with you guys the picture of the individual.
Pro-leftist propaganda.
Yeah, I'm going to share with you. That's out now and is being exposed. We're going to see the individual who did this in a minute here. I'm not sure how many of you saw. It's only been released about an hour ago, about 59 minutes. So stay tuned. We're going to share it with you. We're going to break that news here. Okay.
Lawrence, let me and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on?
Job. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I said you were going to do well. But I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him, they said, whoa, it's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. and brought him to a U.S. Marshal who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you based on what I'm hearing. They'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news, don't you? Huh?
Thank you.
Always have breaking news, Ainsley.
Right.
Sean's going to be very disappointed that we're not doing it on his show.
He'll be very thankful and appreciative of the police officers that got this guy.
They did a great.
Oh, who is?
I don't mean to laugh about the situation. It's just what he said there about Sean not breaking the news. I'm trying to find levity wherever I can.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I apologize to anybody watching who might find an offense with that. I remembered what I was trying to say was anti-fascist.
Yeah, of course.
So there was anti-fascist rhetoric and pro-trans rhetoric engraved in the brass casings of the ammunition used.
So Antifa, anti-fascist. Okay. Well, are you guys ready? We have the individual. All right. There it is. This is the shooter. Yeah, his name is Tyler Robinson, 22 years old. He was turned in by his, I guess, he has a father who is a pastor. Interesting. And the father turned him in.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
Mercy. Yeah. There we have it.
Those are the shades he was wearing too.
Absolutely.
And it looks like the same exact hat.
Yeah. That is the guy. It's almost impossible to. Some people were looking at this other guy in the crowd, but that's exactly not him. Because they were pointing out to this guy who debated Charlie Kirk, but that's actually not the case. So it is.
Yeah, because they show surveillance video of him dropping off the opposite side of the building, running across the field, and then walking across the street.
Oh, they have that video too. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have that, send that to me. Is it on Discord? If not, I can look for it online.
No, I can pull it up readily.
Or just put it. If you can put it in a private chat, that's even better.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Wow. You know, what will possess a man to do such a thing? 22 years old. You just wasted
demonic influence.
Yeah, somebody said it best. Right? Wasted his life.
Yeah, he did, because Utah actually still carries a death penalty. So yeah, he completely wasted his life.
That is madness.
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
All right, thank you. Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
I mean, he may have thought so, but wasn't worth what he thought it was, because it isn't going to turn out how he thought it would.
All right, let's play that.
Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. The manhunt continues for the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I have the latest in this episode on what police are telling us and what they may not be telling us behind the scenes. They say they still don't know who the suspect is. Is that actually the case? Could there be more that they know? The latest on the manhunt coming up in this edition of Brian Ensign Investigates. Hey guys, so I'm outside the university now, where it's still an active manhunt that's happening, looking for the man who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I want to show you these new photos. These are brand new photos that the FBI has released. Another batch of photos from security cameras here on campus, so you can get a really good look This is the person. This is the person of interest. You can see the shirt is really significant. There's like an American flag on it. The hat, the shoes. These new pictures that came out. The governor was really, really making a point to emphasize the shoes because they're Converse. And you can see there's a side angle. He's wearing a backpack, a closer view of the shirt, the hat, the glasses, anything that you might recognize could be helpful. Again, here's a better picture of the Converse as he's going up the stairs. And then there's a picture from the back. Sorry if I sound really, really tired. It's just kind of been a day. I'm going to walk you through everything. I also have the former FBI agent that I interviewed last night on again to help me understand some of the weird things that happened today. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to show you this video. This is surveillance video that was also released today from the FBI. And so this is a surveillance camera that is back behind the amphitheater where Charlie Kirk was shot. And you can see when it zooms in, look on the top of the roof there, and you're going to see the suspect running on the top of the roof. He runs across the top very fast, and then they zoom in here, and you see he is now climbing over the side. He puts his sort of feet down on a ledge there, and then he jumps down, and then he starts running through the field. And look again, close up here. He's got the backpack. This is after he's shot Charlie Kirk. He puts his feet down on the ledge, and then he drops down, and he starts running across the field. And you can see as he runs through the parking lot, and then there's a perimeter. Look, there's even a car that's driving by, and he kind of slows down there. I don't know if that's because he doesn't want to look suspicious. And then he crosses over the perimeter road and goes and then drops the gun on the other side. And you can see that he's just sort of blending in now, walking. What's interesting is TMZ had this video from a security camera in the neighborhood in the back there, behind the campus where he took off, and you see him limping, which was very, very interesting to me. They had video of him going to the campus and leaving the campus, and you see him limping, which I think is him concealing the rifle. I think the gun is underneath his shirt and in his pants, and that is why he is limping, because it doesn't make any sense when you look back at this surveillance video again.
You know, I want to say thank you for this video. That explains a whole lot for me, right? Praise God for
here's
independent media doing the work, man. Okay.
This is another part that gives credence to my he's competent shooter, but not a professional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A professional coming off of that building wouldn't have come off it the way he did.
Yeah,
right.
He should have definitely had either a ladder or a rope or something.
Not even. You can jump off a building that size and walk away without a scratch. The problem is if you jump off the roof of the building, you don't just land square on your feet like he did. You notice how when he landed,
you're supposed to like roll.
You roll with the jump, right? So when you come down off the building, as soon as your feet touch the ground, you tuck and roll. So that way it disperses the momentum from your fall in another direction. And right there is, that tells me right there, he's not a professional.
So
professional would have just jumped from the corner and rolled with the jump.
I'm guessing the rifle was in a backpack.
Yes, okay. If you back it up just a hair,
you have to break it down to it. Okay.
No, he didn't have to break it down.
He
had it. So right there, you see that thing that he laid down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rifle in either a bag or some sort of.
It looks
blanket.
like this is the tip of the rifle in a sense.
No, that's his arm on the building.
Okay, let's look at that again.
That's where they got the palm print from.
Oh,
See, he sets it down, puts his hands on the roof, kneels down. That's a window ledge there, and now you see it. See how it doesn't flex as he's coming down. The rifle's in whatever he's carrying.
So did he have to break that down to fit it in a bag?
He didn't fit it in a bag, though. That's just it. The bag was in the backpack, while the rifle was along his side underneath his clothing. The guy said that as you see surveillance, he was walking in with a limp, right? But as you can see here, no limp, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing you can surmise is that he had it under his shirt. The butt of the stock was under the shirt, up in his armpit, while the barrel and the rest of the rifle went down his pants leg. Okay. So that would cause him to walk with a limp because he didn't want to show off the profile of the rifle.
Yeah.
Because that would be a dead giveaway. So he would turn around and limp to make it look like, okay, yeah, I may have injured myself or something. I'm just, moving on with my day. If anybody questioned him about it.
That is an interesting narrative. Yeah, I can see what you're saying here.
See, he bends both legs there on the ledge, and then when he jumps down. So it's not in his pants leg then, but yet earlier he was walking with a limp. If you're walking with a limp, you're not going to want to jump off a building like this, especially the way he did it. That would cause you to have a limp. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of pressure on like the ACLs and the tendons in your knees and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, thank the Lord. We caught him, and I'm sure there's definitely more to that story, which I'm not sure if we're ever going to get to.
Oh yeah, when you get a chance, finish that video because it's very eye-opening.
Yeah, I'm going to put a link to this video in the description below. I'm actually saving this myself. So after our live stream here, check out this video. All right.
Yeah, this guy did a really good job of keeping up on everything and putting everything where it needed to be and making sure his ducks were in a row.
Wow.
And yeah, he was spot on about how he got the rifle in there. Because you figure he probably, because the scope sits higher than the rest of the rifle, and he'd need a pretty powerful scope. Probably at least an 80-10 scope, which if you know anything about scopes, that's a pretty big scope, right?
Yeah.
So he would want that right around where his hip belt area would be, because it would be easier to conceal there. However, it might potentially affect the zero of the scope, which is another indication that he's not a professional, but potentially a hobbyist. And then when he got across, once he got across the street, he dumped it in the woods. And that's where it was found.
Yeah, even worse. Yeah, he's made all the bad decisions to get caught. I mean, there was no way to get away with this. There's no way. There's no way he could have gotten away with this. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So I got a picture of the rifle here. I found it.
Yeah, I sent you one on Discord.
Oh, there we go. So maybe you can.
It's not the same exact rifle, but it's one like it.
Will that be it?
That's one with a synthetic stock, yes. And you see the size of that scope.
Yeah.
That's a 10 to 80 scope. So looking through that scope would be like you seeing your wife across the dinner table at 200 yards.
Oh.
A professional shooter would not have missed. That's why I say I think he was trying to go for a headshot didn't take into account bullet drop, windage, and other variables that you need to for long distance shooting, and ended up with a neck shot.
Wow. So, whew. Okay, so Charlie Kirk's murderer is an Antifa, according to engraving on the tree cardage.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying that. Found in the killer's weapon. An imported 30
30-06.
30-06. Okay, I don't know much about weapon at all, as you can tell. 30-06 caliber.
Mauser.
I'll let you go ahead.
So it's a 30-06 caliber Mauser bolt action rifle. A spent cartridge was recovered from the chamber, which means it had been shot but never ejected. And 3 other rounds were loaded and ready in the magazine. Now, this must be a more updated modern rifle, because the older rifle models, they didn't use magazines, they used clips. Where, have you ever seen a M1 Garand? How an M1 Garand works? Where you take the ammunition and you load it from the top. You have a bunch of them on a strip, and you stick the strip in, and then you push the ammo down in through the strip and into the weapon, and then the strip, you pick out the strip, and then it locks the bolt forward, putting the next round in, ready to go. That's how an M1 Garand works. That's called a clip. A magazine is a small metal container that holds the ammunition that you put in. Usually you put into the bottom of the item in question, and it feeds with a spring. It pushes the ammunition up into the chamber. So if you see how where the stock is, just forward of the stock, you see that big bulbous thing? That's right above the trigger where the bulbous thing is. That would be the bolt. You lift up on that, pull back to eject the old spent cartridge, push forward, and lock it back into place to get a new cartridge.
Okay, let me make this bigger. I'm not a weapon expert at all, so you know. So you saying the stock is right here?
Yep, that's a stock. And then if you go forward of the stock, and you see where the trigger guard is. Okay. And then just above the trigger guard, where you drew the line through that big round ball there.
Is it right here?
Yeah. That's the lever to work the bolt. You lift up, pull back, that ejects the spent casing, and then when you push it forward, it puts the weapon into battery, putting in a new cartridge, and then when you put it down, it locks it into battery so that it doesn't fly back at you right there. Yep, exactly.
Whew.
And that ball is there so it's easier to hold on to and grab, and it's easier to find. Now, a lot of professional shooters don't have that on theirs because they instinctively know where it is.
Yeah.
Which, again, adds more levity to my theory that not an amateur, but not a pro either.
Yes. Wow. No, thank you for that. Thank you for that breakdown. Yeah, that rifle boy. Yeah.
And honestly, with a scope like that, you'd only have to zero it at 50 yards to get a 200-yard shot out of it. Because
you can
50
even hear
yards
it in the sound of the weapon also. The sound that it's definitely a rifle. It's similar to, I'm not an expert at it, just the way it sounded when the gun went off, you're like, yeah.
Oh, each rifle has its own unique sound.
Yeah, this is very unique.
You know, so you can definitely tell when somebody's shooting, say, a 30-06 versus a 6.5 Creedmoor. Very different sounding. Versus a 5.56, which is the AK or the AR-15 platform.
Mhm.
Very different sounding, which all sound completely different to the AK variant,
Mhm.
which has its own unique sound.
Mm.
You know, so yeah, it's.
Thank you for that.
And yeah, like I said, that scope, you zero it out to 50 yards, you can get the same exact shot and grouping at 50 yards as you can at 200 yards if you actually know what you're doing with it.
Mm.
Those two lines and dot you just drew are right around the chamber. That's where the spent cartridge would come out.
But that was left in there.
But he left it in there because he was policing his brass. He didn't want the evidence left behind.
Oh. And so yeah, if the cartridge was left behind, you could have traced the bullet to see where it was bought.
No, not just a bullet, but because of the way it probably had to be loaded, because it was probably a top-down load.
Mhm.
He had to put his thumb. He had to press his thumb onto the ammunition to get it in. So therefore, it would leave a thumbprint on the brass casing.
What?
Yeah.
Woo!
That's how crazy some of the forensics on some of this stuff gets. Like it breaks it down to the most minute
When
detail.
you know. When you don't, you don't. I am clueless when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I get that he left the whole gun behind, but he probably wasn't expecting them to find it in the bushes. At least he was hoping they wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I get I see where you're going with that, Shannon. I get the joke. But he did at least police the brass enough to know that he didn't want to eject the cartridge on the roof and be a dead giveaway.
Got it. Wow. Yeah, some people say doesn't each weapon has a specific mark?
Yes, each specific weapon after a certain time period. Now, from my understanding, this is an older Mauser that was imported from another country. And given that, it may or may not have a serial number. And the mark you're talking about, Carla, is a serial number.
Yeah, black market is they scratch that off though.
Or at least they try to.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to completely scratch off a serial number on a weapon and still have it functional and not blow up in your face.
Are you serious? Really?
Yeah. Because they embed the serial number so deep into the metal that it actually weakens the structural integrity of the weapon of question.
Well, great job. Whoever thought of that. Wow.
And again, Shannon, to your point that he doesn't sound that smart, that's the difference between professional, amateur, and somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He has experience with rifles. He knows how to use one semi-effectively, perhaps for hunting and stuff like that, because 30-06 is a very common hunting rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said not a professional hit. He's no amateur, because no pro is going to go for a neck shot. Not a chance.
They're going for the head.
They're either going for the head or the heart, center mass.
That he could survive in the next shot. Yeah.
So,
well, where do we go from here? Thank you for that, man. That was an amazing breakdown. I needed this. I needed to make sense of this. You know what's even scarier? Stuff like this. I'm not sure how much of this we're gonna listen to, and you were making reference to it. I hope Joe Rogan is next. Like what?
Yeah, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling next.
Some of them are calling out Candace Owens.
You know, isn't this the same people? You get the sense, the same people who talk about love all the time,
peace and tolerance,
coexist, yeah, accepting each other and everything.
Yeah,
I just don't understand how is that message loving. You know, Ben Shapiro. That is crazy. Matt Walsh is on their list.
Yeah,
Like, what is this? This is like a call for war.
It is. It really is, and I think that's what they're pushing for. And not very Christian of me, but they're trying to FAFO, if you know what I mean.
Wow. Trump?
Yeah, so they've been calling for that for a long time.
That's been going on for a long time.
Look in Discord. There's a video in there that I sent you yesterday from Nick Freitas.
That guy.
Yeah. I like what he says in the video.
All right, let me pull that up. Yeah, you sent me okay, the weapon you sent me is it's very similar. I see what
Yeah.
Very
Very common hunting rifle. That's why I said he's probably a hunter, or he's gone hunting with his dad at some point in his life.
Yeah. I wonder how he feels about all of this decision now. Anyway. Well, some people don't have feelings, unfortunately. Some people don't have feelings. Okay. Give me a break. All right. I have to open it up in the app.
Do you want me to copy it and send it to you in a private message?
No.
Okay.
Let's do this.
You know, let's.
Okay, there we go. I found it. All right.
This was very powerful. I definitely wanted this to be heard.
By the way, guys, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to the page. We're getting deep into this discussion right now, so make sure you share this with somebody else as well.
And don't forget to check out my page. I got some stuff up. Not as much as I should have, but hey.
Yeah. Check it out. You still go with the Heart of Darth Vader.
The Heart of Darth Vader, yes.
All right. I'm going to make sure I put a link in the description for that. All right. Listen, guys.
You know, let's jump to that real quick, just so everyone has context of what I'm talking about. So I'll read this off. This was read my tweet. We'll put that one on there. So I'll tell you what the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates responded to. So this is what I said yesterday. And I waited on this because I prayed on it, and I was like, no, I believe this is true. So this is what I said. I said, I am told that as a state representative, this is the moment where I'm supposed to express my heartfelt condolences and then stand in solidarity with those on the other side of the aisle as we condemn political violence and stand unified as one people. But we aren't one people, are we? The truth is we haven't been for some time now, and there is really no point in pretending anymore if there ever was. We are two very different peoples. We may occupy the same piece of geography, but that is where the similarities seem to abruptly end. I convinced myself for a long time that whenever the left called me a racist, a bigot, a sexist, a fascist, a threat to democracy, for even the most innocent of disagreements, that it was simply hyperbolic rhetoric done for effect. And now the effect is a widow and 2 orphaned children because the left couldn't bear the thought of a peaceful man debating them and winning. I don't think they realize it yet, but murdering Charlie is going to be remembered as the day where we finally woke up to what this fight really is. It is not a civil dispute among fellow countrymen. It's a war between diametrically opposed worldviews which cannot peacefully coexist with one another. One side will win and one side will lose. Charlie tried to win that fight through argumentation, through discussion, through peaceful resolution of differences, and the other side murdered him. Not because he was extreme or inciting violence or any other hyperbolic slur they hurled at him. They murdered him because he was effective, because he was unafraid, because he inspired others and made them feel like they had a voice, that they were not alone. And he did it at the very institutions which have fomented so much hatred toward conservatives. I don't want to stand in solidarity with the other side of the aisle. I want to defeat you. I want to defeat the godless ideology that kills babies in the womb, sterilizes confused children, turns our cities into cesspools of degeneracy and lawlessness, and that murdered Charlie Kirk. Social media is aflame right now with leftist celebration of Charlie's death. I wonder if any among them understand what has just happened. If there is a Yamamoto somewhere in their midst warning that all they have done is awoken a sleeping giant, I doubt it. I think they gave up such introspection and self-awareness long ago. I don't know exactly what will happen next. I just know that it won't be the same as what has happened in the past. There will be thoughts and prayers. Charlie would have wanted prayers, not for himself, but for those left behind and for the country that he loved. But then there will be a reckoning. My Christian faith requires me to love my enemies and pray for those who curse me. It does not require me to stand idly by in the midst of savagery and barbarism, quite the opposite. So every time I feel tired, every time I feel discouraged or overwhelmed, I am going to watch the video of a good man being murdered in Utah. I will force myself to watch it, and then I will return to the work of destroying the evil ideology responsible for that and so much more. Rest with God, Charlie. Your fight is over. Ours is just beginning.
Okay, I'm back.
That. Oh, you came right on time. That was a huge statement.
Did you watch it all the way to the end?
No, the statement. Yeah, he just ended the statement.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, keep
only
watching. It gets even better.
Okay. The only thing I will push back against, it's not the nature of the statement. Is we don't want to do the left versus the right position. The reason I say that is some people on the left. I'm gonna show some videos where they're not all thinking the same way. So yeah, the ideology might be of the same, but I've noticed some people on the left are actually sympathizing and they are actually becoming conservative and thinking along the line of Christianity. So a lot of good things are happening in the midst of all this chaos. So I will say we don't want to make this matter over left and right. I think this is a good
So here's the way I'd see it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was right about having two opposing ideologies who can't coexist.
Correct.
However, it's not in the way he thinks. Okay. Both ideologies begin with a D. Can you tell me what those are?
No.
The demonic and the divine. Those are two opposing ideologies that cannot coexist. It's been that way since the beginning of time. And now we're starting to see when those two ideologies clash, what happens.
And that's the problem. Those ideologies cannot coexist. And I was talking to somebody this morning, and I'm like, even if you didn't want to be political, what the left is pushing is not biblical. And he's a Christian friend. I'm like, you just as a Christian, you can respect some things on the left side of the discussion, right? Freedom, stuff like that. Separation of church and state and all that. We fought that. But abortion, that's just madness. Like, there's no way as a Christian you can read your Bible correctly and promote that, right?
And the part that kills me is all these black people who want to scream eugenics about different social programs and this and that and the other thing. Have you not looked into Margaret Sanger? Do you not know who she is? Do you not know what she stood for?
Yeah.
Get real with yourself.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck, okay? We want to talk about eugenics. Margaret Sanger was the biggest proponent of eugenics. That's the entire point of Planned Parenthood, is to control the black population. She's even said it in her own words, point blank, period.
Yep. And because people don't read their history. That's what it is. We don't read our history. Anyway,
sorry, I get fired up when.
Oh no! Listen, man, when it comes with me, I respect other people's opinion here. We love it. We love our differences in discussion.
And honestly, Theeny, a lot more people are converting than you may think.
Yeah.
I've seen times where thousands of people have come to Jesus. We've actually covered it before.
Oh yeah, a lot. And I do have a nice video here tonight. I'm gonna share a video of this lady who. There's some common sense on the left too. When you talk to some people, there's some people that are not they can understand, like, yeah, we are not upholding Christian behavior. And this is not to say everything on the right is good, because listening to the right, there's violence on the right side of the conversation as
Oh,
well.
absolutely.
We have,
I mean, the
there are
right's
some
not
abusers,
perfect.
there are abusers and there are some rhinos, and I think it's not really, you're not safe in either camp. You have to be safe in Christ ultimately. But if you were to compare and contrast behavior, looking at substance and looking at values, come on, man, like, it's black and white. It's black and
Now,
white.
now, as he states in his statement here, my Christian faith requires me to love my enemies and pray for those who curse me.
Mhm.
It does not require me to stand idly by in the midst of savagery and barbarism. Quite the opposite.
You have to confront the evil. Yeah, I agree with that. But how it is done is also another question to be had.
Well, I mean, evil can't be allowed to exist. Point blank, period.
Mercy. All right, let's hear a little bit more of this. We have a few more thoughts and this.
So Don Scott decided that he was going to post this because, of course, he would. Yesterday, without any proof or facts, an elected delegate and member of the House of Delegates said these words, and the other side murdered him, speaking on the horrible murder of Charlie Kirk. Democrats I served with have denounced the horrific shooting and expressed our condolences to the family of Mr. Kirk. It is sad a Republican member of the Virginia House of Delegates would use these words. It's not a civil dispute among fellow countrymen. It's a war between diametrically opposed worldviews which cannot peacefully coexist with one another. I know Nick Freitas. I actually like Nick Freitas. He is a combat veteran. He wore the cloth of this nation. I admire his ability to connect with people, but on this one, he is wrong. He must be wrong, except that I'm not. I'm not. I've actually been in the legislature longer than you have, Don. And let me tell you something. I sat there and I remembered how it used to be. I remember when you used to be able to sit down and disagree with one another civilly. And yeah, there was still some outlandish comments that were made predominantly by your side of the aisle, but we were able to have those conversations. We were able to sit down in our offices and talk to each other as human beings. And then you know what happened, Don? You know what happened, Mr. Speaker? One day you guys got put in charge. I remember it. You won the House, you won the Senate. You had the governor's mansion, the attorney general's office, you had the lieutenant governors. And I watched what happened. It wasn't just the extreme legislation that came across. It wasn't just about trying to allow for abortion up to the point of birth or engaging in gun confiscation. It wasn't about doing all of the things that you promised us you didn't actually believe in. It was the way you treated us as individuals. It was almost as if our humanity was lost the moment you got power. Because after all, there's no reason to be nice to us anymore. You controlled the House. You controlled the committees. You controlled the governor's pen. I've watched as the Democratic Party has fully embraced the oppressor-oppressed dynamic, the critical theory view of the world, the view of the world that says that you can bifurcate all of society into those that are evil by virtue of their position, by their race, by their sex, and those who are the victims. And whatever the victims have to do in order to achieve liberation, whatever they have to do to achieve decolonization, or whatever buzzword you're using right now, ultimately becomes justified. And then what do you do when somebody calls it out for what it is? You decide to spend more time and effort condemning my response, which didn't advocate for violence. I didn't murder someone. But once again, the real victims are always you guys, right? I have to tell you, I spent a fair amount of my life trying to come up with what I thought were good, comprehensive, coherent arguments. I remember spending time listening to the other side of the aisle express what they believed, reading through their arguments, listening to their arguments, engaging with their arguments. I remember believing that all I have to do is I have to understand their perspective and where they're coming from, and then try to be able to make the sort of points that will illustrate that we are both Americans, we're Virginians. We want all of our constituents to be happy, healthy, prosperous, and free. We just disagree on the way to get there. And if I could find that common humanity and I could find that common problem that we were trying to solve, well, then we could come together and solve it. I've said so as many times on the House of Delegates floor when I was being accused of the most vile of intentions without evidence or cause. And so I came to a conclusion, Mr. Speaker. I was wrong. We don't all want the same things. We don't all want our constituents to be happy, healthy, prosperous, and free. Or to the extent that we do, we have such diametrically opposed views on how that's going to happen that they cannot peacefully coexist. You tell me, Mr. Speaker, what world do we live in when your party is not killing babies up to the point of birth? You.
All right, I'm gonna let him keep going here. Do you
yeah, he gets on fire here.
I'm gonna let him finish the thought the next 3 minutes and so. Do you feel the same way that we at a point where we cannot coexist?
Yeah, I honestly believe we've reached that point, and Charlie Kirk was the apex of the tipping point.
How much of a role do you think the media plays in this?
Oh, a huge role. They're like the entire base. Like if you've actually paid attention to anything Democrats have said, not a single Democrat, not one, has condemned what happened. They have, however, tried to push for more gun legislation. They want to disarm the populace. They don't want to solve it. They don't want to solve the problems. They just want to disarm the populace so that they're easier to control and maintain control.
Oh.
If you can read between the lines and see what's happening, yeah, that's what's going on right now.
It's disturbing.
They're using his death as a means to push for more gun legislation.
All right, thank you for that.
What world do we live in when your party is not killing babies up to the point of birth? You tell me, Mr. Speaker, what world do we live in where you are not handing chemical castration medicine over to gender-confused 10-year-olds? You tell me, Mr. Speaker, what world do we live in when you are not going to, every chance you get, try to disarm me and anybody that thinks like me? When? If you can answer that, I will entertain the idea that there is the possibility of these two worldviews peacefully coexisting. If you are actually willing to engage in a political philosophy which says, I will live and let live, but you're not. Every time you get power, you wield it. You wield it against the people that you see as your political enemies, and you tell all your constituents that we are evil, that we are fascist, that we are threats to their very civilization and existence. And then when they act on that, when they believe you, you act shocked. I will give you this much credit, Mr. Speaker. You are an intelligent man, and you are a cunning man, and I don't buy it anymore. For all the talk about the right inciting violence, Mr. Speaker, we're not murdering you. We're not murdering your speakers. We would stand by and universally condemn, prosecute, and imprison somebody that would do something like that. Whereas you would fight for opportunities to let them out early. You've already.
I will say, irrespective of your political conviction, one thing is true. When either a right wing does something bad, or we can go with January 6th and some of the things that happened there. And I have seen from many conservatives, news as well as podcasters, and I have to give credit here, and I have to be very honest. Conservative will publicly condemn their very own when they are wrong. I've seen that.
And you only see it from one side.
Yeah, they don't justify it. They say this is wrong. We should not have done this. They should be dealt with to the full the punishment of the law. All right.
And they don't call it mostly peaceful protests as a
No.
building's burning behind them.
Correct. But I do know this from the left. And again, it doesn't matter what your political position is. I know some people will maybe watch and have none, and that's okay. I do know this from the left. When certain things happen, they justify it. Like the school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Corinne Jean-Pierre came on, the former House, was it House Speaker? Oh, not House Speaker.
The White House press secretary.
White House press secretary. Thank you. When she came on, she was just, trans are strong. Trans, we fighting. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. Are you sympathizing with the criminal?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to sympathize with the innocents?
Well, prime example. Look at what happened just before Charlie. A white Ukrainian refugee got stabbed to death on a train by a guy who was arrested 14 times.
That was just, most people don't know, I don't think skin color really matter in this discussion. You are a white man, as they say today. I'm a black man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it clearly. That man was racist.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's just, it's hard for black people to believe there are racist black people in the country, but they do exist. We do have racist white people as well. There are racist cops, I believe. I believe some of it is very sick. Even Tom McDonough, when he was talking about the white boy, racism is at the very top. He doesn't care about skin colors at the bottom.
No.
But among us, there are some degrees of that as well. But what that man did to did to that girl, that was wicked. That was racist. That was wrong. And I called it out. Pure evil. There was no reason for it. And he walked around saying, I got that white girl. I got that white girl. Like, these are people that's been radicalized by the media. These are people, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd protests. This is the children of those movements.
Mm-hmm. That's the product of what that's the end product of the propaganda that they pushed out.
It has real world consequences. You were speaking about two ideas cannot exist, but I'll go as far as to say ideas have good and terrible consequences.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just ideas. They become actions. People make decisions and lives are taken based on these ideas.
And that's why these two differentiating ideals cannot coexist.
So heartbreaking.
Because one's going to take action, then the other's going to take action, and then where does it go from there?
Yeah, down spiral. And we don't want that. I don't think we want that as a people, as a country.
No.
We don't want that. It doesn't work.
Now, maybe when I found out what happened, I'm not going to lie, maybe a little part of me did. But given time and allowing myself to cool down and through prayer, I was able to overcome those feelings.
Yeah. But some people don't know how to channel their feelings correctly. I've been challenged. I've been hurt. If you live on the internet, people say a lot of nasty things to you.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to pray and give it to the Lord and say, Lord, help me. And move on. And you don't have to respond and read every comment either. That's
Lord,
make videos. We just don't read the comments because we just let somebody else read it. If there's something important, they will let us know. Yeah. But I just don't think that's not how we're supposed to behave. But again, when you have a mentality that God doesn't exist, how do you channel those emotions? When you have the mentality that is driving the culture, which is Marxism and atheism, that's driving our culture today, and also is Greek philosophy, where we're putting reasons above God. That's what's driving our colleges. Let's be honest. Most of our colleges are godless. And even some Christian colleges are godless. And I'm a Christian.
Don't even get me started on that subject. That's a whole nother separate.
But I'm just saying the school of thoughts that are coming out of these schools plays a crucial role in the mentality and the decision making of these people.
And that's one of the main reasons why Charlie always said college is a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a breathing ground for liberal ideologies that are pushing them into atheism and God-hating fear-mongering. They don't know how to agree to disagree in these schools. Like their perspective is, if I disagree with you, I need to do the following things.
And they don't. The problem is also, I think they're so frustrated because the statistics don't back up their point of view, worldview.
Yeah, and that's what hurts, is because when you put it to the test, it doesn't stand. It cannot. The truth always wins, and that's the problem. Rather than admitting that and own it and repent, make a change, just change your course. Nope, we're gonna end everybody who brings us to that reality. You know, it's a shame.
Yeah,
we're in a dark place, man. Let's keep going.
Done it, right, Mr. Speaker? No, Mr. Speaker, this wasn't done to you, and me observing what has taken place is not devoid of facts or evidence, I assure you. It's come from very, very carefully following what has been taking place in our country over the last decade, beyond that even. I didn't want this. I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe that we were all, at our foundation, Americans. But we don't share the same worldview in the least bit. And to the extent we do, you seem completely unwilling to stop the elements of your party, the elements of your movement, the elements of your ideology from doing the most extreme and vile things. And so what am I supposed to do? Are we just supposed to take solace in the fact that you assure us that this is wrong and you don't believe it and you don't support it? Now, I think what you're all really upset about is that for the longest time, you were able to charm us into believing that you didn't really believe the extreme things you said about us. It was just for politics. It's just to win an election. Well, Mr. Speaker, whether you believe it or not, the people who listen to you do believe it. And they're willing to act on it. And they're willing to celebrate it. Now I'm going to say what I said at the beginning of this, because I not only owe it to God, I owe it to Charlie. I will not be overcome by evil, and I will diligently fight to overcome evil with good. I'll never advocate for the killing of innocent, no matter how much I disagree with them or their vile policies or their vile comments. It's not who we are. But do not expect us to go quietly into the night either. My faith does not obligate me to stand by and watch this take place.
Wow. That was okay. That was strong. I like the way he ended that.
Yeah, that's why I say you got to watch it to the end. It gets powerful at the end.
I like the way he ended that.
And Athene, your comment here, you're partially right on that. I'll give you like half credit for that. The real root cause, you really want to break it down. Every statistic shows that a fatherless household is, I think it's something like 80% more likely to have a criminal in the household than one without.
Yeah. These are factual.
And I can't stop.
Yeah.
It's fatherless homes. We need to get fathers back in the homes where they're needed.
Broken families, broken community, broken society, and broken country, you know. And the devil knows that. And that's what God established from the very start, you know. He gave the marriage institution to protect the human family. And you destroy that, it goes everything else, man. It goes everything else.
Everything flows downstream from that.
Absolutely. You know, we're gonna end on a positive note here, since the killer has been stopped. One is a rebuke for all the people who are rejoicing over this matter. I love what this girl just did. It's a nice rebuke. I really appreciate this.
Real quick before we go into that.
Okay.
I like my version of MAGA. You know how MAGA is supposed to stand for Make America Great Again?
Mm-hmm.
I say, make asylums great again.
Asylums. I went to visit a gated city, and I did a video about this. And in Hot Spring, Arkansas, Hot Spring Village. Oh man, I'll tell you, boy. I get it, man. We're not supposed to be building walls around each other. I understand that, and I'm not for 15-minute cities. They're not the same thing at all. Some people say gated cities or 15-minute cities. I'm like, no, you're not paying attention. Gated cities been around way before that. 15-minute cities and new climate change stuff they're doing. Anyway, I tell you what, that's not a bad idea. It's just when I went in there and I was looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, this is like 15 miles radius of driving, man. I'm like, who thought about this? Like, this is a good thing, and it's the safest. We're talking about not even below 2% of crimes. Like, one burglar happened like 10 years. We had one burglar who snuck in.
Wow.
Death hasn't happened since they've been there, and that some of the people that I was talking to, they've been there for 15 years. Not a single person died. They have restaurant, gas station. They have their own boats in there. It's like a little island, man. And I was in there. I was like, I can quickly share a few, because some people were asking me, why are you talking about this? I'm like, I'm talking about it because it's beautiful. It's just, it's a powerful way, and I think because of the ideologies and the way things are, it might be safe to have more gated cities, because it's just some people are gonna believe what they want to believe. And we went to do some ministry. St. Louis. No, that wasn't St. Louis. It was before St. Louis. They had an earthquake there. Oh my goodness, where did we go? Anyway, I was with a ministry, and we just went out there and minister. Let me pull that up, because I need to show you guys. That was a different world, man. Layla. Okay, Dr. Layla. Yeah, there we go. We went to, this city was hit with a storm. So I teamed up with a ministry called Liberty and Health Alliance, and myself and my wife, we all went there to minister to the people in that community. I gotta tell you, man, if you don't know the result of liberal policies, you need to go to a liberal-run city, stay there for a few days, and take a look. Just let the wind hit you in the face, brother.
There's a reason they call it Chirac.
And that wasn't even, we didn't even go to Chicago. We went to, my goodness, I gotta find the place. We went to, I'll show you. I even had a short, and I was losing my mind. Yeah, Asheville. Yeah, we went to Asheville.
Oh yeah.
Brother, man.
Oh yeah, the big Tennessee cities, they're bad. Good thing you didn't go to Memphis.
I went to Asheville and Tennessee, and we were doing ministry, doing health. We were restoring people's home that's been broken by the hurricane and everything like that. We were helping some churches also, rebuilding and things like that, and doing ministry. And we get to the heart of Asheville, where the city is. My Lord, my God. And I'm not using God's names in vain. I was sick. Not sick of the people. People are human beings. We gotta love them. But when you see like what the policies have done and the nature of it, what people are doing to their bodies.
I mean, look at what Tiffany Henyard did in Dalton.
Oh my goodness, bruh. Here, just to give you an idea, I went to this machine there, just trying to grab like something to eat. I'm like trying to grab. Let me see if I can guess something. You know what was there? Here is what was there in that city, and I had to record it.
I was here with my son last night as we were leaving the place. And we saw, he was like, Daddy, can you get me one of those things? And I'm like, son, this is witchcraft. So if you take a look at what's going on here.
I'm not sure if you heard what I said. I said to my son, oh, this is witchcraft. And I looked at every single thing that were being sold in here. All of them were spells, stuff to contact evil spirits. That was at the main facility where we were actually hosting the event.
Yeah, I was gonna say where you paused it there, you can tell just by the iconography on it. And it's combining that and gambling.
Yes. And
what should we
listen? I didn't know. I'm so naive. Because I live in Pennsylvania. Country boy. We don't know when we don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. Is this normal behavior?
Yeah.
And people there's like, really?
Asheville?
Like you don't know anything about Asheville? I'm like, what is it about Asheville? It says it's like the number one
haven for witchcraft and
witchcraft
stuff.
and Hika. Yeah, they even have the Appalachia Mountain or something. They worship the trees.
The Appalachian Coven. Yeah.
But the thing is, once you know it, once you see it, you can't unsee it. We were in the middle of the streets when we were walking. And again, very liberal. There was not a single conservative around us. Very liberal. You see it on the people, in the buildings, in the stores, in their behavior. We didn't care. We're going to preach the gospel anyway. That we came with the mindset, we're going to share the love of Jesus. People need the Lord. We're going to share it.
Well, and putting it in polite terms, they tend to practice, how can I say this in more of a Christian term, booty rituals.
Yeah.
Booty magic.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, we recorded a number of videos there, and we had a lot of ministries with us that we were sharing the gospel with. But anyway, this was the first time I went to a liberal-run city, and I saw the result of what liberal policy is. It's not only from health, from behavior, from homosexuality, from witchcraft. Like it, when you see it, everybody around us looked at this and said, "This is not a good place to live." Like we had a few good Christians there. They say they're trying to move out. They actually finding ways to escape that city.
Yeah,
we can stay here. Like the homelessness is out of control. You walking, it's all over the place. It's all over the place, and it's madness, man. It's madness. And again, there was not a racial, like you got both white, black, Spanish. Everybody was living together. But what you saw was all of them was cut up in the same city. It broke my heart because I said, man, we really gotta take the gospel to these areas. Like
you ever go to New Orleans?
No.
Oh,
what?
Man.
Am I missing out?
Well, let's just say you kind of feel like you were back at home.
Get out. Wow.
No joke.
And
New Orleans
is not good at home.
Like,
I can tell you that much.
I can tell you is like the Mecca in the U.S. for voodoo magic.
What? Yeah, some people even connected the hurricane that happened there to that.
Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, New Orleans was founded by Haitian immigrants.
I heard that.
So yeah, and with that, they brought their twisted perversion of a religion with them.
Yeah, and that's something people need to know too. Haiti has a lot of Christians. There's a strong Catholic presence. We have a lot of Protestants and Adventists, but over 40% of Haitians practice voodoo. That's not a small number, like and is actually considered the religion, the state religion. That had happened a few years ago. So even in politics. So doesn't mean I'm a Haitian myself. I'm a Christian. That's a different perspective. We have strong Christian presence in Haiti also at the same time. But I'm just simply saying the religion of Haiti is voodoo. It's not Christianity.
Yeah.
And even Catholics, even Protestant people who attend churches, some of them practice voodoo at night. So
and
these
yeah,
are things to keep in
there
mind.
you have the Wiccans and the Voodoos living side by side in harmony with each other. So there's
Correct.
no escaping it, no matter where you go.
But the way they practicing Wicca in the United States, at least when I was in Asheville, they make it look like this was a game. This is joke. They call it old school fun. I was reading some. It's just fun. Yada yada. You take this piece of paper. You say this spell at 6 o'clock in the morning. You say it 3 times and in front of a mirror. And I'm thinking to myself, like, excuse me, you're casting spell on children. Why do you have this for sale?
But that's how they
possess some of these kids for the rest of their lives.
But that's how they draw you in.
I'm like, this is madness.
That's how they draw in new recruits is by, oh, this is just an innocent little game you're playing. And then they want more, and then they get more curious about it, and then they draw them in more and more and more, and eventually they get drugged down beneath the surface of the water.
Yeah. As we're walking back to our cars, because we have to walk from the parking lot to our facility, we're walking back in the middle of the night. People said, hey, don't go out at night in Asheville. Like, I'm like, whatever it is. We finish our thing at 8 p.m. and we're walking back. It's like the whole entire city was different. Like in the daytime, you see normal people going to work, business minded. They're going, whatever. Nighttime is like they say, the freaks comes out at night. Anyway. People, like, the parties were loud, and that's okay. People have clubs all around the place. We have clubs here, but the behavior, the customs, the dress code. I saw a guy literally punching himself in the head, like against the wall and stuff. Like, you're walking around, you're like, what is going on? We need to pray. Like, this is not normal. I recorded some of these videos, and I was like, if this is what liberal policies do, I want nothing to do with it.
Exactly. And now, Carla, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Jesus said in the Bible, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch."
Yeah.
So I mean, there is that.
Yeah, they believe such a thing. They believe, some Wicca believe there's good magic. There's no such thing as good and black magic, white and black magic.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's coming from the same source. Yeah. It's of the devil. There's no good thing. But anyway, it's just crazy because in that city, I saw how some of the liberal policies are holding that. Like, Christianity was not present. There were a few churches where nobody cares about God. It was very obvious. We were bringing the gospel there and everything. They were listening. Some of them came because we had a whole health facility. We made the news and everything. It was massive. We were helping people, healing people, sharing the word of the gospel with them. But I'll tell you what, man, some people were listening, but the vast majority, they have no time. Like, their brains are gone. The drug infested areas where we're walking by, we're like, why is everybody on drug? Everybody's on drug. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. We're from Pennsylvania. Like, we don't see stuff like this. You don't walk around outside of your house. A person is laying there. He is overdosed. Like, yo, what's up with this? Oh, that's normal. He's fine. And he wakes up after 2 hours and he gets some more drugs and he overdoses again. It's like, what is? Anyway, sorry, man. It was a shock value culture for me. I'm like, I can't. I don't know, man. I don't know. We keep our families away from this. This is not good. We don't want our children to see stuff like this. Yeah, it's best that they never find out. If this is what liberal cities are doing, man, I'm telling you, they lost me a long time ago. Anyway, listen to this lady. I love the rebuke that she puts out here.
We don't serve the same God. You don't serve the same God as me. Anytime you can get online and celebrate the death of a man who gave his unsolicited opinion just like you do. To fix your mouth and make jokes about this man losing his life. This man was a husband. This man was a father. But to sit up and laugh and make jokes about it when you do exactly the same thing that he does, which is give your unsolicited opinion that nobody asked you for, there's somebody out there that don't like you either. There's somebody out there that don't like your opinions. There's somebody out there who would do the very same thing to you. So to sit up and laugh at somebody who only gave their opinion, regardless of if you agree with it or not, thinking that it's okay for somebody to take that person's life and sit up and laugh about that, you don't serve the same God that I serve. A lot of y'all wonder why y'all life is so messed up and why you have the problems that you have. It's because you ain't got no God in you. You don't serve a higher power, and it shows. A lot of y'all are demonic. You have some evil spirits. I never listened to Charlie Kirk like that. I would see his stuff come across my timeline every now and then with his controversial takes, but I've never seen anything that he's personally done to justify somebody doing this to him. There's nothing to justify doing this to this man, regardless if you agree with his opinion or not. My prayers go out to his family. This is just a messed up situation, but it goes to show you just how far people will go when they don't like what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. We're going to go through a few of them because we need to wrap this up. This is not a liberal, okay? Jeffree Star, I'm guessing, is popular. See, there's still common sense left in our world. You know, I'm not hopeless.
Right.
There's some decent people that still can be reached, and there's still some people who can see through the cracks and say, some of us are going too far. Here's another one.
He encouraged everyone to speak about their beliefs, whether he believed them or not. Lexi, I don't really care. Am I a Republican? No, I'm a person. Because I'm standing up for someone that passed away, I'm now being called names in the chat. This is what's wrong with a lot of you people. You will never get far in life. You are sick in the head. Someone just said they're unsubscribing from me. Thank God, please. Because if you believe in they and thems, you're part of the problem. If you're so stupid enough to go against science, please unfollow me. You can be whoever you want to be, but there's science and there's facts. You can pretend in your head you're a cat. You can pretend in your head that you're this and you're that. Good for you. You're still only A or B. And the truth hurts a lot of you, I see. I see a lot of you still can't get over it. Sounds like a personal problem. While I've been live streaming, someone was just, and TikTok has guidelines, you guys, so I have to censor what I'm saying. I'm uploading my video right now. I am. Even though we're dealing with all of this, I'm uploading my video right now. So yes, I am a grown-ass man that wears makeup. I will always be a male. My name is Jeffrey. Jeff, if you were my father, he's the only person allowed to call me that. My name is Jeffrey. I am a male that likes cosmetics. All these grown men going into women's bathrooms wearing wigs, you should all be in prison forever. You are the problem. So a grown man that goes around the country debating people, spitting facts, was just taken out. And I'm not over it. I can't sit here and play with makeup right now. I want to throw up. So no, I'm not a Republican. No, I'm not a Democrat. I'm Jeffree Star. Stop trying to label me. Stop trying to label me. I am a male. I am a makeup artist. I am a makeup mogul. I am a business owner. I am a farmer. I am a rancher. I am a son. I am someone's cousin. I am someone's friend. Stop labeling me. Y'all don't know anything about my beliefs. You just assume. Because I said I was thankful that Trump brought back TikTok, I'm now being accused of being a Republican. All I said months ago when TikTok was banned and my business could be affected tremendously, I said, wow, thank God Trump fixed it. Or I wouldn't be able to sell my cosmetics on this platform. I quit YouTube and dedicated my life to TikTok. And people are upset because I thanked our president. Politics aside, biology will never change. Why is that up for debate? Am I saying any of this? Because Charlie Kirk fought for the rights. He fought for the truth. He debated everybody, and you guys cannot argue that. You are delusional and you are mentally ill if you were trying to go against what I just said. I didn't say my opinion. I said a fact. I am Jeffrey Lynn Steininger Jr. That's who I am. I am born a male. Cannot believe I'm sitting here 6 hours away from a crime scene. Like, Utah's just right down there. He's just a couple hours away. And he was doing a debate at a college in front of thousands of people, and his daughter was there. And he was just taken out. I don't know how to process it right now. I'm like so sick. I'm honestly so sick by it. And I'm over here trying to like upload a video. I'm over here trying to upload a fucking video about Hailey Bieber. Who cares about her? Well, you guys do. Clearly, she had a #1 launching Sephora. It's hard when these situations happen and you are an entertainer. It's hard. It's really hard because you just want to stop everything and just leave. Like, I came on here to play with makeup and review these fucking Louis Vuitton brushes, and right now, I don't want to.
Wow. That's an unlikely take, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I may not agree with his lifestyle, but you know what?
I get that.
More power to him. I mean, at least he's looking at things through a reasonable lens. I got to give him that.
Yeah. You wouldn't expect that coming from a person like this, but guess what? Some people still have some decency left in them. Still common sense.
Wouldn't expect it, but can respect it.
Amen. Amen. I like that. Whew. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to share some hope here. Is this young man? I love this young man. I saw him last night. I said, we got to share this guy. I love this. Listen to what he says.
Wait, don't scroll. Do you have 1 minute for God? We're in September with Matthew's day 10, and we're going to be going over chapter 10 in Matthew's. But before we get into chapter 10, I want to say sorry to Charlie Kirk's family for their loss, because Charlie was a good man. I used to watch his videos, and he used to just preach the gospel and tell the truth about Jesus Christ. And I'm so sorry for their loss. And I hope the Lord can protect them through the times that they're going through. Now let's get into chapter 10. We're going to be going over verse 22. Matthew chapter 10, verse 22. You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Jesus is telling us we will not have an easy route following him. As we follow Jesus, we're going to be going through obstacles, tests, trials, hard times, losing faith, high in faith, low in faith. It's just going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. But if you endure to the end, you will be saved. Hope you guys have a nice day. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk.
Amen.
Wow. Wow.
That kid has a powerful future ahead of him.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
It's just take 1 minute. Here is another liberal, and she's thinking differently now as a result of what happened.
Well, something profound is happening right now, and I can't stop crying over a man I've never met. I have never in my life been able to see so black and white, good and evil, like just right in front of my face. And as painful as it is to see even people within arm's reach of me, people I know, being on that side, I am so fucking proud of myself for doing the work to get to where I am, to know that I will never be as despicable as the people over there. And that is why I am where I am today, is because I saw this shit a long time ago. Sorry, this hits a personal note. I walked away from that fucking party a long time ago and lost my entire life because of it. So some of us have been speaking up about this shit for a really long time, and we're fucking exhausted. So fucking exhausted, in fact, that for the last few years, I couldn't do it. I could not be loud. I could not be outspoken. I just wanted to live my fucking life. But now, do I go back? Do I stand up and keep fucking going? Because there are relationships I have built again that I will lose. I will alienate people around me. And I know some of you will be like, those people don't belong there anyways. But that tells me you've never actually been alone. Because some of us have. And it's not fucking pretty. But when somebody like Charlie Kirk gets fucking murked out of this world in a fucking split second, I've never been a religious person in my life. I wasn't raised that way. just, and some of the worst people in my life preached religion, and it never made sense to me because they were bad people. But great, like, luckily I did have I had a nice balanced view. I wasn't like, all religious people are bad. I knew that there was good. But other than that, I have never juggled with religion. But recently, before all of this, probably in the last year or two, I've felt at least a curiosity, a pull, whatever you might call it. I've just last week spoke to a woman at my work about it. And we had a deep conversation about what that means, why I'm feeling these things. But as a gay person, you've been told your entire life you don't belong, but I don't believe that. I mean, belong in religion. And I know it's bullshit, but we still feel that way, you know? So, like, you cannot help but be called to God when you see a man like Charlie Kirk assassinated in that fashion. Like, I don't, because I think at least I am struggling with how to redirect, how to channel the anger and the pain. Because I feel, we all feel violent, but the call to God makes us want to be better than that. And some of you would never fucking know that. You never know what that feels like. That doesn't mean the fight will not stand because it is on. It's just gonna be a different one. And I'm here. I'm fucking watching real close, and I still gotta decide where the fuck I fit into it. But you know, y'all can count on me, man.
Wow. Raw emotion. All right.
Yeah.
I already apologize for the language, but this is, I didn't want to edit the video. Let's let the individual just express their raw emotion here. Wow.
And I think the hardest part for this for a lot of people was the fact that normally his wife and kids don't go to him with these types of events. They were there with him at this one.
I heard that.
So this happened right in front of them.
In front of the family, yo.
Yeah. I think that's what makes it so hard for a lot of people. So whatever y'all are feeling, whatever these people are feeling, amplify that by 1,000,000. And that ain't even close to what the family's probably feeling.
Imagine these kids were so young, man.
Yeah, I think his oldest was like
a year old, I think.
4 or 5.
Yeah,
not even in school yet. And then I think his youngest was like maybe 1 or 2 at best.
Man, I'm a father. When you touch the kid, you get my heart because I'm a father of 2, and you're a dad as well.
Yeah. And my family's growing every day. My cousin wants me to adopt her.
Oh my goodness!
She walks around my house calling me dad.
Oh, you're a great dad, man. I remember many times I had to come to you to get some counsels. So
hey, I'm always here for you, brother.
Thank you, my man. You always have a pastor in me.
I appreciate that. Thank
you. That. All right. Listen to this one.
Maybe you're glad Charlie Kirk is dead. Maybe you think he was racist, transphobic, xenophobic, hateful, and harmful to your community. Maybe you think the world is better off without him. I'm not going to tell you to feel sad, but I do want to show you where this is headed. Because when that assassin squeezed the trigger, they didn't just shoot at Charlie. They shot at all of us, Political violence is on the rise against leaders on both sides. Melissa Hortman, Paul Pelosi, Josh Shapiro, Donald Trump, and now Charlie Kirk. In every single one of these cases, there was someone absolutely convinced they were doing the right thing. Someone who found a way to justify physical violence. Someone who said, well, look at the other side. They were convinced by their black and white view of the world. Communist, fascist, far left, far right. Our opinions are subjective, but physical violence is real. Many of you disagree with the actions of our current government, which Charlie helped elect. That's understandable. But amidst your critiques of the government, don't forget this. Nature is governed by violence. For most of human history, disputes were settled by violence. Before civilization, in some places, 50% of people were murdered. Half the people behind me would kill the other half. That's why we gave governments, not individuals, the right to use force. But sometimes we find an individual so repulsive, we're convinced it's okay. Just this one time. I don't condone violence, but the statement begins. That but is a dark whisper. There should be no but. Everything after but is permission for the next bullet. Any political killing should be considered the highest threat. But we've become desensitized to violence. We think it's just pixels on a screen. So we judge people we don't know. Our tribe becomes a jury and we applaud the executioner. But here's the thing. It's never just one bullet. The gun that is aimed at your enemy today gets aimed at you tomorrow. Suddenly, the cheers around you now become the silence around your own grave. This is why we must condemn everything that comes after but, even if it comes from our own side. Yet, we've become so arrogant, so certain we know the whole truth, that all the angels are in our tribe and all the demons are in theirs. We rage about media bias, yet worship our echo chamber. We are obese with knowledge, but starved for wisdom. The message that was sent by Charlie's assassin was clear. He was shot in the throat while speaking freely with those who disagreed and allowing them to do the same. He lived by the mic and died by the sword. This wasn't just an assassination. It was an attack on civilization. Our nation is held together by a thread, and that thread is fraying. The social fabric is tearing, and we must unite to weave it anew. We need humility to see not just the speck in the opponent's eye, but the log in our own. Because this isn't about right or left. This is about good versus evil. And we're all on each side. So we all got a choice to make. We can choose to heal or an eye for an eye until we're all blind and cannot see. And then the next bullet may be aimed at you, or it could be me. We're at a crossroads. If you want more of my thoughts on where we go from here and how we fix this, subscribe to my Substack.
Good job.
Very powerful.
Common sense. This is wisdom.
I sent you something on Discord that is related to this.
Got it. Oh boy. Oh, Martin Niole. Oh, there goes that quotation. I know that quotation.
Says, first they came for the Jews, but I did nothing because I'm not a Jew. And then they came for the socialists, but I did nothing because I'm not a socialist. Then they came for the Catholics, but I did nothing because I'm not a Catholic. Finally, they came for me, but by then there was no one left to help me.
That's true, man. That's why when stuff like this happen, you gotta speak against it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go on record and say something. I remember how many people were when George Floyd passed away, and you can argue what happened there, but he died nevertheless.
Yeah.
How many people were sympathizing with that, and And I wouldn't say he was a good example of a man. Didn't live a good life, but didn't deserve to die the way that he did and under the circumstances. But I saw how the media, you know,
Well, it
they were
depends
just
on
like,
what you mean by under the circumstances,
you know what I
considering
mean. You know exactly what I mean. Now,
considering
you
that
and I already talked about that one.
yeah, I mean,
But people should know.
let's
Do your research, and the research shows it's not exactly what the narrative have been
yes,
about
it's
them.
not what the
It's not
narrative was
exactly.
that was peddled that
Oh
all
no.
the summer of love was about.
But I saw like the world was trying to come together though. Even though he's been weaponized, it turned into
Mhm.
something else. Of course, he's been politicized as well. It create more chaos than anything.
Mhm.
I really hope the opposite can happen with Charlie Kirk. I hope it can bring people together. It can help us to learn to love each other despite our differences, and learn how to, the debate has to continue because these ideas have to be debated. We don't need to shoot each other over these ideas. We have to talk about them.
Well,
You know, so.
and that's the one thing that he said in that I would disagree with.
Mhm.
That's why we gave the government he said something to the effect of that's why we gave the government the ability to do with something or other. No, that's why we have the Second Amendment for.
Yeah, the
So
violence.
that we can defend ourselves. We don't need to rely on the government.
Mm.
There's a saying, when seconds matter, the police are minutes away.
Mm. Mm. Got it.
And a lot can happen in just a few minutes.
Hmm. Yeah.
In BP, Trump is already labeled Antifa as a terrorist organization.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is.
So
It shouldn't even be considered. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it is. Because we see the result of it. We've seen the result of it. Nothing good came out of Antifa. Nothing good.
mm-mm.
Yeah. It's been birthing a lot of violence and wickedness and evil.
Because what they call a fascist, I call a patriot.
That's true. That's true. Whew. This is the last video. I hope you can hold back your tears for this one. And after this one, we want to pray and end it.
We're gonna have to do another video at some point because he did a thing on Jubilee called Surrounded.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Jubilee got like copyright laws, man. You can't. Yeah, you took
I
video,
know.
they block. Yeah, but we can still do it. It's just
We have to pause a lot and
yeah, we have to pause.
or do something to cover up the videos to change it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you can fast forward the voice, or sometime you might just have to cover. You can pause it, and then if it's not moving, then I mean it's just madness when they do that.
Mhm.
Anyway, I can
But
understand.
yeah, that's very eye opening.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a lot of good points in that. But
yeah, he's good. He's good. All right, hold back your tears. You're gonna need that.
How many of you guys know what just happened the last hour and 15 minutes? Who has no clue what just happened the last hour and 15 minutes? Hour and 15 minutes, we've been going back and forth. Report just came 5 minutes ago. Charlie Kirk was shot and he's dead. Yes. When I'm coming on the stage, I was coming on the stage to start a zone. And a story like this takes place. On the back, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me for a story like this. Beautiful family. By the way, forget about political differences. Some of you guys may not like the guy. Some of you guys may like him. But an event like this, you look at the top 15 things that are trending right now on X. Look at them. The last thing we need is things like this to raise the temperature. Breaks my heart. Young man, 31 years old, family. And when you see events like this, you know what it does? Many people react in a place of fear. Security's on the back. Do you want to hit the stage? Of course I'm going to hit the stage. What do you mean? Dude, this is not how we roll. You think America accidentally became the greatest country in the world? You think this happened because we didn't have courage? You think this happened because we didn't have to fight? You think this happened because the leaders, the founding fathers, were scared? No. We're the luckiest people alive. But in moments like this, we can either get our temperature to go high, lose our cool, react accordingly, or we can calm the nerves down, become examples and leaders. Simultaneously staying tough, calling out the truth, and being willing to fight for this guy who's been pouring into what he believes in. All Charlie did is he loved America. So if you don't mind, with your permission, I would like to bring Tom up to give a prayer before we finish this session. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Yeah, that one gets to me every time.
Wow.
Give me a second.
A second look at who we are as your children. We ask for forgiveness for those sins, so that we may come before you whole and pure. And we ask that you be with everyone in the chat, with Pastor, with myself, and everyone who is going through this dark time, that we can find peace. We can move through this. We can move past this and come together as one country, as one nation, under God, as our founding fathers have intended. We ask that you bring peace, the peace that passes all understanding, as only you can. We ask that you send your angels to those we love and we care about in their greatest times of need, so that they may be watched over and know that they're not alone. We ask that you watch mostly over Charlie's family above all, that they can take solace in knowing that he is now with you in heaven, and that no matter what happens, they will see him again, and that you give them the peace that only you can provide, Lord. The peace that we could never possibly give. We bring these desires before you. We bring these requests before you today, Lord, and place them at your feet. And that if it's your will, that they be done. And this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.